Cool. Cool.
Ron Tyler. Post. Hey, how's it going, Taylor?
What's going on, Andrew? It's good to see you again.
Yeah, likewise. So, like we talked in the past, and like I guess last time we didn't get quite to an agreement.
Yeah, no, it's a little too high of a price. We cannot hit that price.
Okay.
For the 85.
So that's been like the big thing on your mind recently.
Yeah. That really is pretty much the only thing that we've been thinking about is figuring out that price.
Okay. So I just want to kind of recap like what we've talked about previously, just so I make sure I'm on the same page as you guys, and that way I'm understanding instead of just going hammering down on the price, you know. So looking back at what we talked about, you mentioned that you guys have had problems with getting a budget for like a higher budget, like because the government cutbacks. How is that still kind of where you guys are at with that?
Yeah, I mean, we just can't afford to do a whole ton. We've got a lot of stuff that's spread out all over the place. And so, yeah, we're definitely a little stuck on a few spots.
Okay. And so if you're looking at the system now, what effects are you having right now? What are your problems with that?
Our biggest issue as far as the system goes, kind of like we talked about last time, was just the way that everything's integrated. We got this new hardware, and it was supposed to help. So all these different departments throughout the district can pull from each other. So, I mean, it's jumping all over. We're able to pull from seriously just all over the place within the whole district. It's not even just within the school. And so it's hard because when it started not working out the way that it was supposed to, everybody started kind of doing their own things within that district or within the department. So, I mean, you've got this school and this department doing it one way, but this school in the same department is building their own things. And so nothing is flowing. Nothing's really built or running the way that it was supposed to.
So even within the departments, like there's issues.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not like just separated by the departments, but it's departments are even separated from.
Yeah, and we're pulling everything from each of those departments. And so, nothing has really gone the way it was supposed to. So we're kind of ticked off about that.
Yeah, and so that was with the original like hardware and software that you had originally purchased, right? Okay.
So, and we know the hardware is good. All of our IT guys, like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's the program itself.
Gotcha. Okay. So when you're receiving the information, how are you receiving it currently? Because we talked about like all the different departments having different systems. Are they emailing it to you, or how are you getting?
Yeah, we're just having to everybody's just kind of contacting their own people. Like, we assign somebody to a department, and they say, all right, these are the numbers from each of those schools for this department. So
does it come in uniform, or is it different amongst those?
Yeah, no. Like, we've been able to figure out like how to ask for it in certain ways. Makes it a little bit or a little simpler. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, it's just a big clump of crap.
So it's even like you guys having to communicate and make adjustments, or like you originally didn't even want to have to deal with that.
Exactly.
And so what does that do for like you in particular? Does that put a lot more on your plate?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of already get a lot of the odd jobs as I go through. So it's just frustrating because I'm not trying to talk myself up or make myself sound better, but I'm able to accomplish a lot.
Yeah.
And I do a good job. I make sure everything's done the way that it's asked. And so my boss looks at that and says, okay, you can handle something else. So I get even more odd jobs. So, I mean, I haven't even completely touched what my job description really is because I'm adding on extra stuff.
Yeah. Does that get frustrating, or how does that affect you?
I mean, it's frustrating because I never know exactly what my day's going to be like. But at the same time, it's kind of keeps me entertained, keeps me on my toes, you know. So it would be nice to be able to get back to what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But it definitely
something you're not having to learn every single day, a new thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So It sounds like, from what I'm understanding, that the programs aren't working connected together. They're making it so it's putting a little extra work in. Does that create more hours worked for your teams, or how does that affect that?
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we're all at the point where we still need to get our actual jobs done.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us have the daily tasks and weekly tasks that we have to finish.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're not able to complete those, we're staying after because we've been playing catch up with all this mess.
Yeah.
So
does that make it so you guys have to cut back on vacation days even?
I mean, nobody's really talked about vacation days yet. We've been so busy. So I don't think we've really thought about vacation.
Don't even have time to think about it.
Yeah. We've definitely had some overtime. So, I mean, it sucks for us that have salary because we're just working a lot more for no extra pay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That probably makes it pretty not worth your time, I guess, to be doing all these extra things.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating with it.
Mm-hmm.
Fun to figure out, but still annoying that we can't complete what we're supposed to, and now we've got a lot of extra crap on our plate. It's just kind of overflowing sometimes.
Okay, and does that affect like everyone, like from where you're at, even up to, like?
Oh yeah, superintendent's having to kind of delegate all these things out because at first it just started going to him, and it's just too much for him, and so he's just sending it down the crap chute.
And you're getting the
yeah, we're all feeling it. It's not just on me. So
okay, dang. So that's a pretty hefty problem, I guess. It sounds like.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of a pain.
Mm-hmm. So with looking at like all the communication, like or connectivity issues, if that were solved, what would that do for you?
It would help us out a ton. I mean, the fact that this whole section of the issue would be taken off of our plate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could save us a ton of time. We wouldn't have to work as much overtime, and even the overtime that we still have to do would be focused on bigger, better issues.
Yeah, like improvements instead of just trying to make it function. Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
right. Do you guys have any plans to like be expanding here coming soon, or like what's the status of like the school district itself?
I mean, the community's growing, so we just got to keep up with the communities.
Yeah, so that means the community is growing. That means obviously the school is growing, right?
Yeah.
Or the district, which
definitely
more students. Excuse me. More students means like more things that need to be transferred, right?
Yeah.
So, looking at the students with it, does it cause problems with like the students individually? With their records, or how does that work? Does it even affect it?
Not as much. I mean, the students get the same type of education. Mm-hmm. We might not be able to offer as many extra things that can make it more fun for them, make them more excited to be there. So, I mean, that's been probably the hardest part is we just can't offer a ton of extracurricular stuff outside of like what we've already got.
Yeah.
So,
okay, makes sense. So, kind of getting back to everything, I'm just recapping it. From what I understand, it's like what you guys are talking about. A lot of it's coming down to the software is not connecting with each other, which is making it so you guys are having these problems with like going ahead and sending the right information at the right times uniformly, and making it so that there's more hours spent on things that maybe you shouldn't be having to spend your time on. And I'm sure that's with everyone here, not just like even just you or the superintendent, like you're saying. So if all these problems can be solved, is that something that we can move forward with? I guess in the negotiations is taking all these problems and making it so they can just go away for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's been our ultimate goal. We would love to get with you guys. And to be totally honest, we look at your guys' company and we already know that you guys are one of the top rated for what you guys do, for all this programming and everything. So there's definitely no question. you guys are our number one choice out of the others that we've got.
Mm-hmm.
We think that you guys will be able to do this the best and the most efficient. So
we're glad we have that reputation.
Yeah, definitely. But I guess the stumbling block with it all still is just the fact that we can't afford $50,000 or to pay over $50,000.
Yeah.
Like we have a very strict budget because kind of like we were talking about, I'm at the point where there's nothing else that I can pull from.
Yeah.
Or the superintendent can pull from to give us more money to reach that 86,000 or 85,000.
Yeah, 85,000. No worries. So I completely understand. We're looking at our prices, and 85 was the lowest that we can go with that package deal that we're looking at. And we definitely want to keep your business. We don't want to be like, sorry, there's the door, because that's not how we work. As our company, in August, we're trying to be more professional and keep our standards high and our business with our customers that are loyal. And so we're thinking of options and things that we can do to try to make it so it work. How flexible with time are you guys? Like, does it have to all be done right now, or?
Preferably, yes. If we can figure out to get it done within a year. Mm-hmm. And be able to have that worked out. We're the same boat. We don't want to take away money from you guys.
Yeah.
Like we understand you have a business to run and things like that. Mm-hmm. But we just at this point we don't know where our system is having the biggest issue.
Yeah.
And so if I was to say like break it up, I don't know where we would even start. You know.
For sure. Well. So, I mean, we're definitely a strong IT group. Mm-hmm. What if we went along with this? Just as a thought that came, what if we went ahead and offered analysis like for free of charge, to kind of see where you guys' like biggest bottlenecks are and like things that are kind of holding you back from best progress, I guess, the connectivity.
Okay.
And gone ahead and given you that information, and then could we go ahead and just like maybe split the price or split the work in half? It's like we do the first half this year, get everything done. The next year we come in, finish the rest because your budget's for a year, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what if we went ahead and split it in half and make it the 4250 with it, and that way you're still well below your budget for this year, and then the next year we could come in and make things work with that as well.
Yeah, I think that would be fine. I just want to make sure, definitely the free analytics, just making sure it would have to be kind of a collaborating process with us. Mm-hmm. So we would be able to, you guys would be able to say, this is where your issues are coming from, and then we'd be able to show you these are our biggest issues so that we can say, all right, we'll be able to fit X, Y, and Z in there in that first year. And then on top of that, within the next year, we'd be able to kind of have the smaller issues figured out.
Yeah, for sure. I think along with our analytics, we come back, we collect all the data. We'll go over it with you and see if we're seeing the same problems.
Okay.
And that way, it's not us just saying, hey, here's your biggest problems, and maybe it's not your biggest problem that you see.
Yeah, no, definitely. We want to be able to make sure that our big portions are done. So I really appreciate that. I'd be willing to split that up within the 2 years with that free analysis. Would we be able to, at the same price, get an extra like 2 weeks of training from you guys?
Extra 2 weeks. It's gonna be quite a few man hours. Do you like have my question is, do you have connections with other school districts?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I work alongside with the superintendent, and then so I definitely have a lot of contact with other superintendents as well.
Yeah. So with us, like we're kind of new to working with school districts.
Okay.
So, we've been in the private sector for a number of years, but we're expanding into this sector to kind of be able to expand our roots. And we don't have the connections maybe that you have.
Okay.
Maybe if you guys could give us a lead to another school district that might be interested in our services, we can go ahead and throw those 2 weeks in.
Okay. Well, I mean, looking at that, I can definitely get you a contact with a supervisor.
Uh-huh.
What would we be able to do if I could get you in contact with even more people?
You know what? I think I'd have to go ahead and talk to my supervisors back at my place. But I think we might be able to maybe even negotiate price just a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if we can talk that down to even finishing that for a year and get that price dropped down for some of those referrals, I'd even be down to keep the normal amount of training in there and just have that be specifically with our IT guys so that they can retrain us.
Okay.
So I think that using the free analytics, the training for just regular training, and then if I can give you some referrals and have a meeting just like this with other superintendents or other buyers in my like in my same position.
Yeah.
Would you? What would that look like as far as price? I know you said you'd have to go and talk with your supervisors, but what do you think we'd be looking at there?
I think if we could probably get like 4, maybe 5, like referrals, like and sit down like guarantees.
Okay.
I think we could drop it down so it's a lot closer to what you're looking at. Because you said your max budget's 50,000. Obviously, it's really hard to manipulate any of that with like how the government's kind of limiting you guys.
Yeah.
But if we could get 4 or 5 sit downs,
Okay.
I could go back to my company and see if that's something that we can work with. As far as I'm available to make the decision, I think that would work.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, how long does the whole process, or how long would you say this process is going to take with you guys coming in and working with us?
So I think in the total process of getting everything like nailed down, it'd probably take about 3.5, 4 months.
Okay. Perfect. So it wouldn't even take the full year process.
No.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if we can do that, if we can fit that into the 4-month thing there, and then look, I'd even be willing to set you guys up with as a contract with our school district for sure.
Okay.
So I'll pass it by to the superintendent. So you guys are our go-to as far as doing that. I mean, I know you don't, like you're saying, this is kind of your first time in the public sector.
Yeah.
And so if we can have like an ongoing contract with you, if we can set that at the 50,000, and then I'll get you those 5 referrals.
Okay. So looking at this, like I think it's sounding pretty good. Who else is involved in your purchasing process?
For the purchasing itself, it's just me.
Okay.
I'll set up a meeting with our superintendent, and so me and him will be the ones to reach out to the other buyers and superintendents to kind of help emphasize the importance that you guys would be to the other districts.
Perfect. And last thing, with us kind of getting into this public sector, would it be okay if we went ahead and did some case studies on your systems? That way we can kind of have the information showing how it works and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be awesome. It would help us out a lot too, to kind of see how everything's on track with you guys. It'll give us a better pitch when we guys give you guys as a referral to others.
Awesome. We're excited. Let me go ahead and let's drop up a temporary contract of basically everything we discussed.
Okay.
And I can confirm it with my higher ups.
Same.
And then I think we can come back and hopefully be shaking hands saying, yeah, let's do this.
Perfect. So, Andrew, I like it a lot. I appreciate you coming back.
Taylor.
Thank you. Space doesn't.